Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sediko Rakolote from Progressive Socio-Economic Investment Institute. The Progressive Socio-Economic Institute is a public benefit activity trust that was established to champion socio-economic activities in communities doing charity work. One of the things that we are doing, we host webinars on various topics. Today, we'll be talking about the Botswana Desert Bushwalk that is going to be happening in Botswana on the 30th of July. We have invited people to participate in this discussion, to understand why the walk, what's happening, what are the things that they need to prepare, when are people arriving, how much are they expected to pay. We have got one of the organizers who will be taking us through give us all the information. Her name is Olivia Nthoi. Welcome, Olivia Nthoi, and thanks for joining us. Without a waste of time, we'll just give you Olivia Nthoi, give us a background of Botswana Desert Bushwalk, when it was started, how many kilometers, where is it happening, and how much people are expected to pay. What are the things that they need to bring when they come to Botswana, particularly those who are coming outside the country of Botswana. Over to you, Olivia.
Okay, thank you so much for having me over for this webinar. Yes, my name is Olivia Nthoi, and I am a board member. I'm actually the secretary under an organization called CSI-Concepts Foundation. CSI-Concepts Foundation Trust is a charitable organization that raises funds through corporate social investment initiatives, and all of the funds that we raise, we take them to charitable causes, or we facilitate for various charitable causes to take place in Botswana. And amongst everything that we do, one of the activities that we do each year is the Desert Bushwalk. And the Desert Bushwalk is an annual event that takes place in a town called Jwaneng in the southern part of Botswana. It is a hike that consists of two routes, one which is 15 kilometers, and then the other is 30 kilometers. So through this event, we're able to seek sponsorship, and we're also able to raise funds through the buying of tickets by the participants. And that's how we raise funds in that regard when it comes to this event. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the Desert Bushwalk. So what I will do is that I'm going to share my screen with you, so that I can make a short little presentation that tells you about our event. And then if you have any questions, I will then address all of your questions and hopefully give you all of the answers that you need for this event. So I'm just going to share my screen now. Just give me a second. I think I have an issue here. The host has disabled participant screen sharing. Could you please enable me to share my screen?
Yeah, I've made you a co-host. I think now you can share your screen.
Okay, let me try again. Okay, wonderful.
Are you winning?
Okay, I'm just trying right now. Just give me a second. I might not be winning, but I don't know what's going on here. Technology can be a problem sometimes.
But in the meantime, while you are trying to share your screen, maybe you can start just reading some of your your notes on your presentation while you're still starting.
Okay, right. What I'll do is that let me just, I'll just share without sharing my screen. And then I can share the slides with you and then you can share with the participants. So today, what we're here for is for me to tell you who we are and what we do and what exactly the Desert Bushwalk is. So this year, the Desert Bushwalk will take place on the 30th of July, 2022 at Jwaneng. Now, just a background of who we are. CSI-Concepts Foundation is a trust that is legally registered in Botswana and managed by a board of trustees. And it's a non-governmental organization that was established to mobilize resources for community development initiatives throughout Botswana. And its main objective, or the main objectives of CSI-Concepts Foundation Trust are, amongst others, to raise funds and support sustainable community development projects. CSI-Concepts also supports other NGOs or community-based organizations. It supports children and underprivileged members of society through encouraging the private sector and also private citizens to be involved in fundraising initiatives for community development. So like I said, one of our biggest projects as CSI-Concepts Foundation is the Desert Bushwalk, which was established in 2013 as a hike within the desert and parts of the bush which are on the outskirts of Jwaneng. Jwaneng is in the southeastern district of Botswana, and it is about 200 kilometers away from the capital city of Botswana, which is Gaborone. And accessing Jwaneng, one can access Jwaneng through the Mafikeng border from South Africa, or from the silk, I can't pronounce it properly, but yes, the Lubatse border in our side. There is a name for it in South Africa. I'll remember and let you know. So you can access it from there, and it is about an hour or so from both of those borders when coming in from South Africa. So the objectives of CSI-Concepts Fund and the Desert Bushwalk, is to make sustainable contributions towards education, development, empowerment of marginalized communities in Botswana, to encourage health and wellness whilst growing hiking as a sport of interest in the country, and also encouraging nature walks as well as environmental awareness in Botswana. The aim is to grow the sports tourism sector under the domestic and international tourism through unique hiking excursions throughout the country. We also aim to become an impactful organization that does not exist exclusively for leisure, but that changes lives and lifestyles. Therefore, encouraging networks from various countries and encouraging people to come from near and far to experience what it is that the Desert Bushwalk offers within Botswana, so that those who participate can experience the terrain and the beauty of the area where we host our event. So in our past projects, we have achieved quite a bit, and it's always important for us to share what it is that we have done when it comes to the fundraising, so that those who participate know that they're not participating just to enjoy themselves, but they're actually changing lives. So one such example is that, with our Desert Bushwalk in 2014, it was held on the 26th of July, 2014. So what we usually do is that we hold our events on the last Saturday of every July in winter in Jwaneng. This was our inaugural walk, and the main objective at the time was to raise funds and to construct a creative learning center and a carpentry lab for a primary school called CSI Primary School, which is about 10 minutes away from Jwaneng. What we were able to do was we raised about 75,000 pula, and we were able to build a carpentry workshop, which also serves as a library for the school. And me reporting is just showing the type of things that we were able to achieve. We were not able to have the event in 2015 because we were busy with the registration process now of making this a legal entity, so that everything that we do is accounted for and is legal, so that when we say we're a charity organization that raises money through walks, here are our books, here are our paperwork, we are legitimate. In 2016, we were able to host our events. And mind you, I didn't mention in 2014 that we had about 500 participants for this event. And then in 2016, we were able to have 1,300 participants come. And we had people coming from Botswana, South Africa, Namibia, Lesotho, and Zimbabwe who joined us in our event. So we were able to raise about 160,000 pula. And with this, we were able to set up a resource center in Jwaneng, which was central, and it benefits to date around 19 primary schools in the Jwaneng-Mabutsane region. And then we also donated 10,000 to orphans in the new Kanahas charity drive, which is in CKGR, or the Khanzi district in Botswana. So we donated that 10,000 so that they could help underprivileged students with whatever needs that they had at that time. And then in 2017, we started growing even more from the last, and we had about 2,000 participants, and it's now South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Australia, Germany. We were continuing to grow. And at this point, we managed to raise 235,000 through our event. And we were able to provide for primary schools such as Kakia Primary School, and we also donated to the Ministry of Basic Education, where 14 primary schools were helped with their early childhood programs. So that is how we went, and we further contributed 5 computers to Muramusu Primary School, which is also in a rural area within the district that the event is held. And in 2018, we're able to have 2,700 participants. And at this point, we raised 200,000 pula, where we were able to construct a reception classroom at Kanaku Primary School, which is also in the Jwaneng-Mabutsane region, I mean. And then in 2019 or 2018, 3,000 participants came to our event, and we were able to raise quite a significant amount of money. It was about 250 as well. And we have We have about 8 projects that we were able to commit to, some of which haven't yet collected their funds, but one of them being a preschool class in Kakia, a rural village also in that area. So the way that the Desert Bushwalk works is that we appeal to organizations out there to sponsor the events, and then we sell tickets. We sell tickets through a website called Web Tickets in Botswana. And with that, we are able to raise the funds that we raise. And then the details of the event is, like I said in the beginning, a 15-kilometer walk and a 30-kilometer walk. So the participants choose which walk they want to embark on. And once they do, they are guided through their trail. We have vehicles that move around for those who might have problems. We have water points for different periods. Every 5 kilometers or every 10 kilometers, we have water and refreshments. We have energy drinks, oranges, fruit, bananas, sometimes peanuts, and so forth, so that those who are traveling can be assisted. And then those who might get stuck on the way, we have vehicles that can collect them. And usually we have ambulance support for those who might have any health issues along. And going through this route, it's very sandy, even though they are shrubs. There are quite a bit of shrubs along the way, but there's quite a bit of sand, because this is where we are located, is where the desert begins. You know, in Botswana, we have the Kalahari Desert. And as you move from Jwaneng towards, say, the Khansi region, that's when the desert gets even more intense. So where we are and our route is where the desert begins, hence the bushwalk, hence bush in desert. So what we do is that we encourage people to wear very protective shoes that they will be able to walk 15 kilometers with. We encourage them to wear comfortable clothes that will protect them from any scratches from the shrubs, even though the shrubs are not necessarily in their path, but it's always necessary to take care. Although it is winter when we have this walk, it's also important to wear warm clothes in the morning and to also wear a hat, because as you walk, you get hot, the sun will shine, and it would be important to also wear sunscreen to protect yourself, as well as to have whatever essentials that you might need as an individual. If you are a person who takes medication, make sure you take your medication with you. Do not assume that you'll finish by this time and then you will be able to take your medication and so forth. It is the bush. There might be wild animals, but we've never had any encounters of any wild animals because we are basically within the developed area. So the only things to look out for might be snakes, scorpions maybe, and so forth, but nothing too hectic. So basically, that is what the route would entail. And then once one has completed their route, they get awarded with a medal. And at the beginning of every hike, every participant is given a pack that has their registration numbers, a pack that has a t-shirt, a pack that has refreshments to start. So basically that is who we are and what we do for now. I don't know if I might have skipped anything. So at this point in time, you are allowed to ask me any question, and I will gladly address the question for you.
Thank you so much, Olivia, for your presentation. Colleagues, now it's time for questions, comments. For those who participated before in this walk, please also feel free to add and advise those who will be doing it for the first time. Let me see hands for questions.
Guys.
Comments. There's a hand from Ndihone LB Function. You can.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Hi, Sediko. Thank you so much,
well.
Olivia. Yes, are you well?
I'm well, and you, Ndihone?
Great stuff. I heard everything that Olivia was talking about. I just wanted to ask a brief question in relation to the border. What's this? The border passes. How does one pass at the border to get to Botswana? Because yesterday, initially we had gotten communication that says people could pass with either PCR test or with the vaccine certificate. And just yesterday, some of our guys were going to the cow thing in Botswana. When they got to the border, they couldn't pass through because they were told that they need just the vaccine certificate without the PCR certificate. But the previous communication that we got from you guys, okay, from Aratwa, from the Desert Bushwalk, or yeah, but from the Ministry of I don't know what you call it there in Botswana, it had said that either PCR or the vaccine would still pass. One would be able to pass the border. So I wanted to find out if maybe Olivia might have any information in relation to that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ndihone. Before you come in, Olivia, let me take another question. There was a hand.
Okay.
The other hand, no, that hand is gone. You can respond, Olivia.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. And I didn't quite hear what you said about your colleagues that were going to Kawa. They were sent back. Please just clarify that.
Yes, they were told to either vaccinate or get the, actually, no, they were sent back to go and vaccinate. So they were up in the border in Uppington, and then they had to then go back to one of the areas around. Apparently, one of the vaccination centers was about 2 kilometers from the border. So they had to go and vaccinate, prior to them crossing the border to Botswana. Okay. So they were sent back, yes.
All right, yes. At the moment in time, in Botswana, the way it works at the borders is that you have to be vaccinated, fully vaccinated. And if you are vaccinated, you don't need to take a PCR or anything. So that's the rule at the moment. So okay. If you were to come, you'd have to be vaccinated. But in terms of the booster, that one it hasn't become strict yet when it comes to the booster.
Okay, if I can just come in again. The last communication that we got from your ministry that relates to the borders, it had said that even if a person has PCR, the vaccine is not mandatory. As long as a person has got PCR, they can pass through the borders. So our guys that are at Kawa, they had taken the PCR test for them to be able to pass the borders. But when they got there, they were returned. That's what I was, actually I even called Arato today to find out as to what was the story about that, because as far as I understood, it was that once you have that, once you have the PCR, you are able to pass by the borders without having to provide the vaccine certificate.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate that we're living at a time, where things change every day. because before the PCR was what was required, and then now it has changed, and it's the vaccine. If you're vaccinated, you're free to go type of thing. So that might change also. I don't know, but like if any information comes, we will share, you know. But at the moment in time, the latest is that you should be vaccinated, you know. And it's unfortunate that you know, your colleagues came to Botswana and didn't know that. And I think that it's really lovely that you are raising this, so that we too, as the Desert Bushwalk, as we keep advertising, we should also keep updating participants from outside the country that this is the latest when it comes to the entry requirements and so forth. You know, thank you so much for that one.
Thank you so much, Olivia, and thanks, Ndihone, for the question. Galaxy S20 FE, I don't have your name. Can you raise your question, please? Your hand is up. Galaxy S20. Galaxy S20, your hand was up, now it's down. While you are waiting for Galaxy S20, your hand is up. Please raise your question.
While we wait, I think I'll just give a quick update of how much our tickets are, because that's something that I had omitted. So for our 15-kilometer hike, it is 330 rands for a ticket. And then for our 30-kilometer hike, it's 460 rands. So we set these prices against our prices, currency versus currency. In Botswana, it's 250 for 15 kilometers and 350 for 30 kilometers. And if you would like to buy a ticket, you can go to www.webtickets.co.bw, www.webtickets.co.bw, if you would like to buy the tickets online.
Thank you so much, Olivia. Archibald?
Yes, just
Archibald,
one quick one. Archibald is actually the chairperson of CSI-Concepts FOUNDATION.
Oh, okay, maybe he wants to add something.
Yes, thank you.
Archibald? Your hand is up,
sorry.
Archibald. He's not speaking. So the tickets can only be bought through the website. And you said it's how much for 15 kilometers?
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you, Archibald, now.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Olivia. Sorry, I couldn't be at the start of the discussion. And thanks for everyone who is here. I think Olivia did a great job. Though I wasn't there, I know she can do a very good job concerning this project. I heard concerning the entry to Botswana. Yeah, like she's saying, it's very fluid because the communication that was said from the ministry, it was saying when you are fully vaccinated, you can go through. There's no problem, just showing your certificate. And then if you are not fully vaccinated, you have to take PCR. So I'm not sure why those guys were returned there. The normal PCR 74 hours process. So it's just fortunate. Maybe there was miscommunication with people there at the border. I don't know. But currently, there's that alternative of using a valid PCR certificate. I just wanted to clarify that. I think the rest, though, I missed. I will just say, maybe just to add, even though I missed is concerning. There was a time when people were asking much, why do we always have to cut the numbers of participants? Like previously, we would say maybe 2.9, 3,000. Usually we have a cutoff point. This is because our event is fully 100% charitable event. And the ticket, let's say the ticket is 300. The cost of the ticket of the person, an individual, is more than 300 pula or 300 rands. We give away your t-shirts, your medals, refreshment, etc. But the main important thing is that we have to raise enough money to give back to the community. So if we don't have the sponsors, many sponsors as we have wished, we limit the number of participants so that at the end of the day, we can have money that we can give back to the community. So our interest is also more of having enough money. I wouldn't say profit because it's not a profit-making project, but we always have to balance the number of participants, which we don't have any problem with. Fortunately, we never have any problem in terms of the participant. But what is also more important is after the event, we should have those 200,000 that Olivia is talking about to have money to give back to the community through sustainable projects. I really wanted to highlight that because it's so critical. People say, please, why don't we just open it, have 4,000 participants? It is, otherwise we end up having nothing at the end of the walk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Archibald. But the request will be, as organizers, please keep on informing potential participants on any changes that are happening in your country. Use your media platforms to alert us if there are some changes in terms of requirements of entering the country of Botswana. Any other question or comments from colleagues before we close? Ndihone, do you want to tell us about what you're going to do there as LB Function? Ndihone? Okay. Colleagues, any question before we close? So for the South Africans who wants to go to Botswana and wants to travel as a team, please keep in touch with me. We are organizing a travel together. And that's why I was calling Ndihone to say something. We are organizing a travel together. Please just keep in touch with me so that maybe it is nice to travel as a team. So please keep in touch with me, those who want to travel as a team. But those who want to travel as individuals, feel free to do so. We don't have any arrangement with the organizers of Botswana Desert Bushwalk to do this. We're just organizing it internally as South Africans. So if you want to participate, please keep in touch with me, or you can use other means to travel to Botswana and we'll meet there. Thank you so much, Olivia and Archibald, for allowing us to invite you into this session. It was just an information sharing session. If there are any other changes that will be happening between now and July, feel free to touch base with us. We'll organize another webinar, invite other people to come and get information. We were stream living also on our Facebook page. We'll continue sharing any information that we get from you in all our social media platforms. Thank you so much for participation.
Thank you so much for having us over. Just in closing, also what I would like to say, I'd just like to appeal to our fellow South Africans that, attending this event is not just attending an event to have fun. Your attendance is actually a way of changing people's lives. So it would be lovely to see all of you there. And indeed, we will share on our social media platforms anything that that's worth sharing, or any improvements or changes when it comes to government and all of that. So if anybody needs further information, they can email the Desert Bushwalk at gmail.com. The Desert Bushwalk at gmail.com. And then also, one other issue that we didn't touch on was that one of accommodation. We have a list of service providers. We have outsourced service, the accommodation service. So our participants can contact that list, which is published on our Facebook page. They can contact whoever it is that they might want to stay with. The prices will also be listed there and the numbers. So I just wanted to throw that one there so that if anybody needs accommodation.
Before you go, Olivia and Archibald, let me put you on the spot. For this year, what is the minimum that you are intending to raise? What's the minimum?
This year we're aiming at a minimum of 2,500 people.
No, I mean the amount that you wish to raise is about how much? 200,000 bula to 300,000 bula. Maybe this might be an internal discussion in your organization and you don't want to share, but just give us the minimum so that when we persuade people to attend, we'll say, let's beat this record of raising this amount.
Of course, we always would like to raise more if we could, but if we can raise 200,000 at least, as you've seen what we've done through the past few years, it would go a long way.
Okay, South Africans, there is a target now to raise 200,000 pulas in Botswana. Let's invite our family members, friends, colleagues to attend this walk so that we can beat that target that they are setting up. Ndihone, your hand is up, my sister.
Yes, sorry, Sediko. Yes, my hand is up. I heard Olivia talking about the packages that are on their website, and I just wanted to elaborate on the LB Functions package that we have for people who are coming from South Africa. For those who are interested in coming with us from South Africa, we've got packages from 2,000 Rand up until 3.5, depending on if a person wants to share the tent or just self-drive or sleep alone or share a tent. So we have packages. You can check our website. Our website is in www.lbfunctionhire.co.za, or you can go to our Facebook page, LB Functions, and Instagram, LB Functions as well, to get all our packages, and then one can choose as to which packages they're interested in. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ndihone. Thank you so much. Colleagues, there is a LB Function that will be providing services to those who are coming from South Africa. If you really want to travel as a team, LB Function is there for you. Those who want to travel as individuals also, you can do that. Thank you so much, colleagues, and have a lovely, is it the long weekend? Have a lovely long weekend.
Yes, it's a long weekend. Yes. Thank you so much, Olivia. Thank you so much, Archie. We appreciate your time.
Right.
Thank you.
You colleagues, you can switch on your camera so that I can see who was here. Switch on your cameras. All of you are here. I want to see who was here. Oh, Ndihone.
Oh, that's me, yes.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Colleagues, switch on your cameras. Let's see.
Likewise, Olivia. We see each other